Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Shipout screen. Before we start the Shipout screen, let me explain how the order will even get there so you can ship it out. The first option is you are dealing with a drop shipper. So here the supplier is set as a drop shipper, and if that is the case, then you have three options on how you're going to invoice that order in order assignment. The first option is you're going to select the item like this, and you're going to send it to the supplier. So when you click send to supplier, then it's going to just email them. Second option is you download the file, like a CSV file, and then you could email the supplier or upload it to their FTP. To set up the CSV file in the supplier settings, which is located here, you could specify how you want the file, so you could have a CSV file, change the order, change the names of the headers, and so on. The third way is if you actually set this up, you'll have the option to email them, not just an email, but actually a file, either CSV or XML with your order details so they can have an easier time importing it. Now, if you are a warehouse, which means you ship internally or you're dealing with somebody who's shipping it for you, then you will set up the different workflows. Now, there are separate tutorials how to set up the workflows. But the workflows is made so if you are manufacturing something and it needs to go through a certain process before it ships out, or there's more steps involved to ship something out, you want to make sure that the workflow is finished before the ship out is triggered. Once you assign it, and it's from the order assignment, so instead of send to supplier, you'll have something that looks like this, where it says place into workflow. When you click place into workflow, it's going to go into packing list. If you don't have the strict, see, there's a strict button here and it's an X next to it. If there is no strict here, that means that the order will land in order assignment as well as the ship out. It'll be in both places. Now, sometimes you don't want to do that because you only want to ship out whatever is completed in the workflow. So if you click on strict, that means it will not land in the ship out until it is in the completed stage of the workflow. Once it's completed stage in the workflow, then it will appear in the ship out. So that's the only thing that strict means, that you have to strictly go through this workflow before it goes to ship out. Otherwise, it lands in ship out. Now, why would you want to do that? Because in most cases, if you're not using a workflow, you need to have one anyway if you're your own warehouse. And the workflow might only be one step, generate a label and ship it. So if that is the case, you simply want to select the workflow and don't mark it strict. This means that the second you click on order assignment, assigned to workflow, it's going to bypass the workflow. It's going to go right to the completed stage, and it's going to land in ship out. But if you're actually must go through the workflow, so if you have 5 steps to go through on the workflow, then you have to select this and then click strict on it. So assuming that the item has passed the workflow or it doesn't have a workflow, so it just jumped into ship out, let me show you how to use the actual ship out screen. The ship out screen can be used for two things. Number one, any drop shipper that's supposed to ship any kind of products will have the items here if they don't have a tracking number. We used to have a screen called order tracking, but it will be deleted and ship out is replacing order tracking. So order tracking used to show you any open orders that were invoiced to the drop shipper but doesn't have a tracking number. So ship out will take on that screen and show you the same information. Assuming that it went through the workflow and it needs to ship out, here is what all these features are. So you can select the supplier, select the PO number in case you need to search for someone, email and last name, click on search. I'm going to just say all and search for everything. So now we have the items. So let me show you what all these buttons do. Here, if you select any of the items, and you can select more than one, you can generate the label if you have your own UPS account associated with your shopping cart, or FedEx or USPS or any other shipping service. And you can print the labels, and both of these functions can work in bulk. So you can generate them all at once, and you can print them all at once. You can click on each one differently to make sure everything is set up properly before you generate them. Manual ship means that you are going to just select the service, put a tracking number, and email it. So if you're dealing with a drop shipper, chances are you're doing manual shipping because they shipped it for you. If you're shipping it yourself, you click Generate and Print. This just shows you the invoice, packing slip, and international form if you need to. Order details will take you to the actual order details screen in case you need to review anything and reprocess anything in case they provided you the wrong address. This dropdown shows you anything that's pending a label or pending printing. So in case you generate the labels and now you just want to see what needs to be printed, you can do that. You can also see the history, what needs to ship out today, shipped within 7 days, 30 days, and 60 days. Once you click on the item, you have two options here. First, you have the shipment. This is the bin packing, and we explained to you how to pack everything in the box that you defined. So if there's more than one image, because you have, let's say, 10 boxes, you can click on these arrows to flip through the images to show you how to actually pack each one of the items. You could also set confirmation if you want to have a signature confirmation on this package. If you're willing to ship it with Saturday delivery, insurance, this is the image of the product. This is the product page on the website. And you would click on the repack option in case you decided to add more products to the package or remove products from the package. So in case you want to see if you can use a smaller box, you could do that. In most cases, you're not going to use the repack option if the shipment is going to go out exactly like it was ordered. And finally, you have the order notes that you can add notes for that particular shipment. So for drop shipping, if you need to write down that you called them, you can do it from here, set up follow-ups, create attachments, and you can see the charge history, how it was charged, and what kind of transaction ID and CVV result this particular order had. On these fields, you will see the status. So it would say that it needs a label, or it needs to ship, or it has been shipped. You have the PO number, any kind of warning notes. So if there's any problems with the order, it's going to show up here. What kind of service it's using, how many shipments it has, how many boxes and how many items are inside, was the ship to address, the date it shipped on, if it had a confirmation set of delivery insurance, what account number it was using, what country is it going to, what supplier, how many days this order is, and if there's a back order on that specific shipment.